All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you fucks laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that shit.
Welcome to the 119th episode of the Drinking Partners podcast. It is our Johnny Unitas podcast because, you know, he changed the game and we seek to do that ourselves. So, it's the 19, the golden arm. I mean, Johnny U, fucks with him. Were you a Johnny U fan? I mean, can you not be a Johnny U fan? Is there anybody that doesn't?
Man, I grew up with three sisters. Remember that? So, like, I didn't even know who the fuck Johnny Unitas was. But Dad worked two jobs. I grew up with three sisters. Ask me about Barbie.
Word. I am your host, Dave Bracey. I'm half your hosting tandem. Ed Bailey couldn't be here today, but in his stead, we have Dan from Grown Up Human Comic Peoples. Thank you for coming on short notice.
Thanks for having me. This is great. I love doing this podcast.
Yeah, it's I enjoy podcasting. I enjoy podcasting with you guys, man, because it's always a great time. It's always bad decisions that are recorded that going to look back later and maybe regret. Somebody's going to be like, because we're not running for political office after any of these podcasts that we do together.
No,
it puts the kibosh on any of those dreams.
All my dreams that were squashed. Whatever the first day of the first podcast was, that was it. It was done. I'm a better man for it. We're all better men for it.
I think so. I believe so. At least that's what I tell myself.
We don't aspire to control masses of human beings who can make decisions for themselves. We respect the sovereignty of the individual.
Yeah, I do to a certain extent. I don't know, man. I tend to want to convince people that they're stupid, and maybe I know a little better. Like
don't get it twisted. I definitely know better.
Yeah,
we all know better.
Yeah, but no, I try not to, just kick in with steel boots and force the whole thing. Like, here it is. Partake if you'd like,
Right,
right. It's there. If you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners, and you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. Where can they find you, Dan?
You can find us on social media at Grown Up Humans, IG, Twitter, Facebook, grownuphumancomicpeople.com. If you go to Grown Up Humans, that'll just redirect you. But this is usually Jared's job, but I know you can find us.
Hey, man, I know where you're at. Like, we're both filling various shoes.
Yeah, right.
Like two left feet.
Yeah. I know. It's just like one left foot. It's like I'm missing a leg entirely. Grown Up Human Comic People. Grown Up, one word. You guys will find us.
Nice. Now, we've been asking you for 119 episodes, man. We're going to keep asking you. Please hop on iTunes, rate and review. That's how we let others know that we're doing well. That's how we continue to do well, and that's how we know what we're doing well. So please hop on iTunes, rate and review, man. Takes you about 30 seconds, and you tell us you love us. So just tell other people that you love us. So we appreciate that. Got a few things coming up. First and foremost, Ed is headlining the Improv. That's huge. That's 4 years leading up to this night. And he'll be down there at the Improv May 17th. May 17th, he's headlining the Improv. So go down there, check him out. You can catch tickets online, at the Improv, PittsburghImprov.com, and, check out Ed Bailey, at Ed Bailey Comedy, on all your networks and whatnot. He's got all the ticket information there as well.
So they're going to be some other comedians that are with them that night?
Yeah, I believe Terry Jones is going to be there, T. Robe, and I forget the third comic, but it's going to be pretty dope.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a powerhouse. Like it's a show full of headliners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
nice.
it's going to be a hell of a show. I'm excited to see that.
It's coming up quick.
Yeah. So I mean, if you listen to this, by the time you listen to this, you need to get them tickets like now. If there are any left. Like, if there are tickets left, get them now. Don't show up to the door expecting hookups. Extra. Like, look, man, we ain't got nothing. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
We have to catch the DVD.
Get the bootleg.
True. Somebody in their Facebook laughing that shit. Word. Also, May 27th at Comtra, we have our Epic Night of Comedy. As always, last Saturday of every month down at Comtra Theater, we have our Epic Night of Comedy. We've always got beer sponsors. Shoe Brew is actually sponsoring this one. Shout out to Shoe Brew. I was over there yesterday. It was like Vinyl Day. I believe like Record Day or whatever it was yesterday, and they were celebrating at their new warehouse down there. And they've got all kinds of crazy, sick shit going on down there. So fuck around with them for a little bit, and they will be hosting, they will be sponsoring the show May 27th with Aaron Cliver is going to be headlining that one. So it's going to be tons of fun. So if you're looking for tickets for that, that's comtratheater.ticketleap.com, and again, that's May 27th at the Comtra Theater. What else we got going on? The Boom Brunch. We got the Boom Brunch going on, and that'll be May 28th. We'll be down at Boom. Hit them up, check out. More details to come with that. But look out for that. May 28th, we'll have like a brunch, a little live podcast, and just kind of kick it in and get a feel of the scene down there on the East End. So if you're available for that, man, come through for May 28th down at Boom.
And that's a little spot right on Penn Avenue.
Yeah, down in Garfield.
Yeah.
Right
by people.
Yeah, they're good. They're good dudes. I want to say episode 90. See, that's another Ed thing. I will look it up. I think it was like 90, 91 or something like that. But it was really, it was one of my favorite casts. It was deep. It went super deep. But super cool dudes. And they've been changing the game for a long time. And uplifting a lot of artists in the city. So, shout out to them. And we will be down there, kicking it with them. And, like I said, getting in touch with the folks on the East End. Now, if you're listening to this right now, and you're like, oh man, these guys sound super smooth. Like, this is very well put together. Like, none of that, the crackles and the pops, and it doesn't sound like we're in a basement in Allentown. Right? That's what we're doing. We're in a basement in Allentown.
We're in a tower in the sky, podcasting from the clouds.
Well, that's because of Epicast, man. They keep us sounding super crisp and super nice, man. It makes us sound more professional than what we really are. We are sitting in the basement getting shit-faced on a Sunday afternoon, but it sounds professional as fuck. So if you're looking to get your podcast to sound better, or maybe you want to start your own podcast, need help promoting an event, or want to advertise your product on an award-winning podcast, such as this one. We got something. Somebody said something. So go to epicastnetwork.com/services, fill out the form, and tell them that the drinking partner sent you, man, and they will hook you up. So and Epic, the family's been cool. Like I enjoy all of the folks, the Does This Hold Ups, the Martyrs on the Moves, the Grown Ups, and it's a nice little hodgepodge of folks.
It is. It does feel like a family too. Mm-hmm. When we say, or when on our podcast, or you guys say the Epicast family, it does have that feeling. It has that feeling of camaraderie, and when you come in, and you're on the Epicast network, it's like, man, like you're just down immediately.
Yeah, well,
like there's
we actually hang out with each other outside of this, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like I go game night with Marta, like, you know, like it really is like a family or whatever. I mean, it's a bunch of cool people doing cool shit and like finding their niche and their voice.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, Epicast really does, you know, help us get that out there as well. I mean, like, and together we all kind of, you know, grow. So it's just a dope, you know, time to be in Pittsburgh and an artist, you know, or an entrepreneur of any type. I mean, like it's all right.
Right. Yeah. And never forget, you're the product of the people you spend your time with. So you come on with a cool group of people, like they're gonna elevate you to their highest level of coolness, you know? And that's definitely what I've found with all the people at Epicast. Granted, knew some of them prior to our podcast getting on, but still, man, like you, Ed, Buzzy.
You know, it's you know, I mean, as you get older or whatever, I mean, you don't have a lot of time. I mean, that's the thing. You have, I mean, it's so little free time at all. So you have to choose who you spend that free time with. I mean, and it has to be somebody that offers something of value. You know what I mean? I could learn something, or, you know, if I'm just wasting time and getting, you know, hammered and there's no growth at all from that experience, then what the fuck are we doing, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's huge, you know, is taking this minuscule amount of free time and turning it into something that is recreational in the sense of the word. Like, you are recreating a little bit. You're adding some new hopefully impactful things to your life.
Well, I'm about to add a whole lot of impactful shit to my life. We have been blessed with a bevy of brews today, and sitting on the table right now are two creations from our guest today. He hails from the city of Rochester, PA, Brixton Brewing, the head brewer down at Brixton Brewing. Everybody, you know, Zack Ruskin. Say what up to the people.
Hello. What up?
Okay. Yeah, no, that was a good what up. That was a good what up. It wasn't.
No,
It's terrible. But it was.
Hello.
There it is. So you brought us some great things. Let us know what this first bottle you'll pour is, and then let us know about yourself and how you made this beautiful concoction.
So the two beers we brought this afternoon are Belgian Hobbs. It's a 14% silliness. It's a barley wine.
Do you want to start with that one, or do you want to start with it? It's up to you.
We could start with the Belgian Hobbs.
Okay, which one is?
It's in the smaller bottle.
Okay.
We need less of that one.
This might actually help. So it's a 14% quad barley wine concoction. It takes about a year to ferment. It just sits and ages and does its thing.
What is a barley wine?
Well, so barley wine is like it's a heavier alcohol English style beer. That's typically high in malt, low hopped, and laid to rest for a little bit too. Like, they age it in the brewery typically. Like, these are extended aged beers and released as such.
So barley wine is something distinct, because I don't really know shit about, you know, the brewing process, all the science and alchemy behind creating delicious beverages.
Yeah.
So a barley wine, I think I put barley wine in like mead and all of that, like sort of stuff that breweries are creating, like these alternative non-beer things under the same umbrella. That's probably wrong, right? Like barley wine is not like...
Whoa. That is delicious. It's like candy. Yeah, it's candy right there.
Barley wine, it's like, it's
It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so
A lot of
smooth.
it's gonna get
It doesn't have
added
like a bad like aftertaste that some tend to have. Mm.
Would I be incorrect in saying it's malty?
Yeah.
It's
very malty.
real like sweet and malty and delicious.
So we like use a lot of different like beet sugar, like it's a lot of like Belgian candied sugars and heavily dosed in this thing to just ferment it to get it to the 14% that it is. It's a fun beer. It's a fun beer to brew, and it's one of the worst beers to brew too because it's just like it's so tedious and
it takes a year.
Takes a year to ferment, so that's like a year of paying attention to it and nurturing it and giving a little rub on the.
So where do you keep it? Is it in
It
a
stays
barrel?
in the fermenter for the whole time.
Oh, yeesh.
So how much of this stuff can you make? I
We
mean,
only
what's-
make 10 gallons like every 2 years.
holy shit, man! So this is really like this is like an honor, a pleasure. I need to. Putting that into perspective, I'm going to be attending to every sip of this barley wine. Yeah,
It's
So tell us
the name Belgian Hobbs actually is the first time I brewed this. I was a home brewer, and it was like the beginning of the year in July, it was the beginning of the year in January, and the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, which is in July, was coming up, and I wanted to brew this beer for the to take to the Vintage Grand Prix in Pittsburgh at Shenley Park, and I went to the homebrew store, picked up all these grains and sugars and just a shopping cart full of ingredients, and the counter at the homebrew shop, she was like, This isn't gonna work. this is no. So I took it home and
like I'm gonna sell it to you, but
he's like, no.
I don't know if you wanna.
So I
keep the receipt on this.
Actually, I do still have the receipt somewhere in my desk. The original homebrew receipt.
Yeah.
But so I brewed it and did my hydrometer sample, and I couldn't even get a reading on it. It just made the whole hydrometer float out of the flask, and I had no idea what the original alcohol content was.
Wow.
It was somewhere around 18% though.
Yeesh.
And and so it was intended for the July Vintage Grand Prix, and it didn't make it until the following Vintage Grand Prix, the year after.
Yeah.
You're like a bunch of old dudes driving around in cars. We got to get these guys fucked up. We're getting you fucked up. We want to see you run into something in Shenley Park with your $60,000 MG.
Oh, it's
Yeah, that is a great place to have 19%.
yeah, and the beating 14% alcohol in the blazing sun watching a race.
Oh man.
So yeah.
So how long have you been brewing? I mean, what like led you into brewing? Like, I mean,
it was a hobby my dad and I wanted to get into, and one day I was like, I wasn't even of age yet, and he was like, "Hey, we should try this out." And I think I was like 19 at the time. We started getting our kit together and started homebrewing. My brother actually got me a little Mr. Beer kit too, which failed miserably. But that's that was the spark that wanted us to throw more money at it and see if we could make a decent beer.
Yeah, what did your dad do? Was he like a chemist or a cook?
No. We were just always. Well, we always cooked in our family, so like did a lot of baking and
there tends to be some sort of cooking background with brewers,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's
the flavors, and I mean, you're cooking a thing.
It's essentially baking.
Yeah.
It is almost identical to baking.
Yeah.
You're tending to yeast. You have different bacteria to worry about, different blends of grain too. I mean,
and the flavor profiles.
Yeah, you make a rye bread as opposed to a pale ale.
That's a really good point. I'm thinking after you said that, everybody I know who makes their own beer, either like have some involvement in the culinary industry, or they're fucking computer programmers.
That's it. Yeah,
computer
those are the
programmers.
two. Yeah, they're either engineers, like chemists, or they're like cooks.
Yeah,
and you need those skills, but those are the two paths that'll lead you to like brewing. I've found.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, we've always had conversations about the balance between the art side of it and the science side of it.
Yeah.
And every brewer has a spectrum of somewhere in that, science to the artist side.
I think there's a lot of overlap in that too, between the sciences and the arts.
Oh,
like they both take creativity and rigor. So I think those minds, people tend to separate them, but I think that there's a lot of overlap. There's a
I think that the people who are able to kind of utilize that, and understand the art plus the science, are able to kind of like venture out a little further or whatever. Like you said, people they're on a spectrum.
Yeah.
But the folks that are more in the middle are able kind of understand both sides of the.
Well, you can almost even see it at, like, in my head, I'm picturing Budweiser be all the way to the complete, exact scientific side of it. Not missing in the minutia of it.
Yeah, everything is consistent.
As opposed to
exactly what you're gonna get every time. Yeah,
as opposed to like dusty Belgian breweries. Don't clean that up.
So how long has this iteration, Brixton, right?
Brixton has been around for about 7 years now.
Oh,
so
shit,
it started out in my parents' basement, actually. That's where, like as I said, when we first started brewing. And this guy opened up, Frank Eli, the owner of Hollywood Gardens Brixton Brewing. He had reopened his father's bar and was interested in opening up a craft beer bar. And this was early on too. The craft beer scene in Pittsburgh even hadn't really come about yet. It was still hard to find a 60-minute. You weren't guaranteed that.
Yeah,
that's when they called it microbreweries, right? Right, because now it's craft. But back then, it was microbreweries. The craft brewery wasn't a thing.
Yeah. Now we have like distinctions on how much we produce. Be a craft or micro or whatever.
Nano and all.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's people that get paid to make those decisions.
Yeah. Imagine that. And they're probably not even that fucking cool.
They are actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
The ones who make the distinction between nano, micro, craft, all that. I can't imagine they're like the coolest fucking people on earth.
Actually, most of them are like ex-brewers or something, like the guys that retired out of brewing. It's just
that would make sense. I think brewers would probably be the ones that would know that distinction, because I didn't know it until a brewer told me.
But I just imagine it's like running into some dude who's like a master sergeant.
If you are not a brewer and you know that terminology, you might be a dick. I was saying, you might be a dick if you don't brew beer and you know all these distinctions. And then you even like somehow throw it in the conversation. How the fuck how did we get to this? Like nano. There's no conversation where actually, you're one of those motherfuckers. Actually, it's a just go fuck off.
No, what they do is they slip it in conversation. Somebody's like, oh, I really like this new microbrewer. And they're like, oh yes, I really enjoyed that nano brewery as well. Fuck you.
I was visiting this nano the other day down at the Non.
Immediately I'm thinking about bots. Nano bots. And they're, attacking us or infiltrating our bodies.
So you went from your parents' basement down to Frankie's spot.
Yeah. So as we're 60 minutes. So as Frank took over the bar, he started selling craft beer there, and he approached me he heard that I was homebrewing. I started going to this place very often and checking out the bar, because it was the only place you could get craft beer at that time. And one thing led to another. He always said, I always wanted to start my own brew pub. And at that time I had started making these homebrewed beers, and gave him one. He was like blown away by it. And through trial and error, blood, sweat, and tears, and a few years later, we started turning a bar actually into a brew pub, which hasn't really been done too often. So, we started off in a 10-gallon system. We took it out of my parents' basement and then moved it to the brewery. Started brewing on a little 10-gallon system.
I remember the 10-gallon system. Like I came by and like Frankie took me through, showed me the setup and whatnot.
That's still the same one.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been upgraded a little bit. That's the heart and soul's still there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that you're able to do what you do, I mean, with that, I mean, is...
So, yeah, this beer, actually, that we're drinking, the Belgian Hobbs, it was brewed on that little...
So, you had a beer sitting for a year in that system?
Well, yeah, in a little tiny fermenter. Yeah.
A little fermenter or whatever. That's crazy, man. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm already a little...
Man, I'm feeling it. I think it's infused with love because I feel so warm right now and like happy to be here. Lots of gratitude coursing through my veins. So you guys should drink this and hang out with people you perhaps have a strained relationship with, and it will make you appreciate them.
You will appreciate the fuck out of it. This is the broken marriage brew. Come through.
See in divorce court.
Come through.
Yeah, bring these to the litigations.
Yeah,
just like you and your own.
Even if you're gonna get divorced, like come through and let's talk. Let's discuss it over over a Belgian and Hobbs. I mean, like let's do that. Like
yeah, just put on some Al Green, some of this. Shit, you'll be back together. You'll be having another kid. Thinking about that summer home, that little timeshare in Florida sounds so nice.
The way it used to be, you know.
Yeah, man. So how do you sell this? Are you just selling it out of your spot? Like they have to come there to get this?
No. Actually, we sell to some of the bars in the city too. Through like Frank and I both had a lot of relationships with some of the live venues in the city. And through that, made a lot of friendships with bar owners and that sort of thing. So Piper's Pub, we've developed a great relationship with them, doing a cask program, trading out. We did a coffee oatmeal stout we did there on cask. It was delicious. So we've got into a couple of places in the city.
With this barley wine?
No, not with this. No.
Yeah, that's what I was talking. I meant just for the marriage mender. This is the marriage mender here.
Marriage mender or maker.
Yeah.
The lawyer. The AKA the lawyer.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like telling people, like this is you have to go find this right now. Things are tough. Go find this.
Yeah, that's definitely the bar exclusive. You're only going to be able to get that at the bar at Hollywood Gardens.
And if you go to Hollywood, get that steak, the Irish
steak and Irish porter.
Steak and Irish porter. Oh my god! You know what? I ate at that place for like 2 years and didn't order motherfucking thing else other than that steak and Irish porter.
That's all you need.
And those hand-cut fries and shit. Like, man, I was and then they get this little annihilus sauce, right? And it's like, I mean, it's legit hot. Like it's not like fusion, mayo hot. Like
it's impossible to warn people of that. Anytime they come into the restaurant, it's like, no, this is actually really hot.
It's painful. I ate everything. Yeah. I eat everything spicy. Like I like a good. Me too. This is a painful.
It's so good though.
Yeah. Oh, it is so delicious, and that's the thing. It has good flavor too. It's not just hot. Like you can put hot, enough peppers or whatever, but it also has a good flavor. Like I mean, so like you get punched in the tongue, but then like you get rewarded for it, and it becomes addictive. It's one of those like those flavors that as soon as it
develop
goes
the tolerance,
away, you're like, oh shit, I need to keep this going. It's the beer and the food is very nice.
But this hot sauce, is this your recipe? Something like something?
No. The kitchen developed it. Yeah. So, okay. There's actually several great hot sauces. They do it with thigh night on Wednesdays, 99-cent thighs. And so we have these homemade hot sauces that are, there's actually one more that's hotter now, the nihilus sauce. The abidance rather. It's made with like straight ghost peppers. It's.
Wait, so what are the three? So you have an nihilus?
Nihilus.
Oh, nihilist. All right, nihilist. What's the other? What's the
There's abidance is even hotter than that.
abidance? No, I thought like a nihilist, like you were annihilating their I don't know their sense of what is delicious and hot. Like we are annihilating that. Nihilist, abidance. It sounds like there might be like some like BDSM undertones to these hot sauces, like a little bit of sadism or masochism happening.
I think you have to be a masochist to like enjoy burning your tongue. Like,
yeah, maybe.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you have to. I think you have to enjoy pain. That's essentially what it is. I mean, it's a painful.
Right.
It's a painful.
Why am
experience.
I doing this to myself?
Yeah, like it's a painful fucking. Like, there's no. I mean, yeah, it's flavorful, but
Sure.
it's painful as fuck.
Right, and maybe that's what it is. Like the pain just enhances the intensity of that flavor, the enjoyment of it.
See,
just like a spanking.
Now, what you do is you come through and you get the marriage mender, right? And then you take her home and dribble some nihilist sauce on her titties, and then there you see
A little bit of one, a little bit of the other. Yeah. You just had twins. That's what happened. You just made twins.
It's a hot and sticky night.
That is, that's 10 years guaranteed.
Yeah, right? This is the prescription for a long, healthy marriage. Every several years, you have to come and get this barley wine every time it's released, and then some of this hot sauce. Done.
Yeah. You just open up a whole new chapter.
Yeah. Keep it away from your genitals.
That's the 25 anniversary.
When shit starts to really dull down, the sensations are like, man, I'm just not feeling it anymore. Let's try this. We need some abidance.
Oh man. So who are some of your faves in the industry? I mean, who were some of the folks that you enjoyed, like getting into the whole, man, and like would drink and love?
Our buddy, well, actually, the other beer we brought, Matthew, is a good friend of mine. We went to high school together, and he's in the beer industry. He works for Fuhrer, I believe. But anyway, he's a great guy. He's the reason why we brewed it. We were sitting in Hollywood together and talking about making a silly English style beer that was so rich and biscuity.
Biscuit.
And sessionable.
If you guys, if you're listening at home, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you've already been introduced to Zack. I forgot all about.
We did do the introduction.
Yeah.
Live. We did a live cast down at Brewha.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I thought you meant like right now.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I was like,
No,
maybe did it.
And yeah, we had the Matthew on there, and oh my god, it was like a biscuit. Wait until you taste this shit, bro. Like it is.
All right, here we go. Am I spilling? No, maybe.
Yeah.
I fucked up this pour.
No, that's perfect. That's
Yeah,
good.
no,
You're
that's
good.
okay.
You're good.
All
You're
right, thanks,
good.
guys. I did it on purpose.
No, that's Piper's Pub I usually like to hit a lot. The Allegheny wine mixer was another discovery that Frank and I made. Frank, the owner, it's a great little spot in Lawrenceville. And when we were starting to think about getting these beers out, Matthew being one of them, that was what immediately we thought Allegheny wine mixer. And this was too when we made the English mild. There wasn't too many around either, and so there was a very.
So what is an English mild?
English mild is like as you said, the biscuit, and we made it heavily biscuity. Like it was just, that's what Matt and I had talked about that evening, and it was just overdosed it on that. And so it's a English floor malted base malt, a little bit more malted than like your 2-row that you use in IPA. And so it even extends more to that body and mouthfeel of it. So that's how you get like that nice biscuity, heavy mouthfeel with still only being 4.5%.
Yeah.
So it's still like a full beer, but it doesn't really do anything to you.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like you just added water to some beer.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean. Like it feels full. Yeah, like you said, it's like it's delicious. Like
For me, it kind of almost has like a stout feel, but like a.
Yeah, but not like with the heaviness of the flavor and whatnot. You
Right.
know, of a stout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But still, the heaviness.
This is delicious.
Oh, thank you.
This is really good. I usually don't go for any brown ales.
Yeah.
But this is fantastic.
Yeah, so they were made to be just sessionable drinking beers, low hop too, and more malty, but something you can go all day with.
Yeah. That pairs well with like everything. It's like it's
Everything.
like bread, like so. It's just any meal. It just
Just settle on the table. Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
with everything.
everything, absolutely everything.
Chocolate,
Yeah.
coffee,
Yeah.
water, whatever.
Yeah, no, it just absolutely everything, man. There's nothing like.
So people could find this down at Allegheny Wine Mixer if they
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
So like we operate on a 2-barrel direct fired system. So it's an extremely analog. It's essentially a big homebrew system. And we try to get the recipes as exactly as we can every time, still being on a direct fired analog system. So only being 2-barrel systems, we get 4 halves out of it. So when we have beer available to sell out to other places, we try to get it out and try to actually help out friends around the area too. Like so, there's a bar in New Brighton called the Blue Marble, and the owner there, Lorna, we try to get her some beers when we can, just as a favor, because she likes having our beers there. And but it's not something we can regularly get out into the public, just because that's exclusivity and the small batch brewing.
Right. So how are you finding the climate because I feel like it's starting to become more acceptable to have beers like this, to go into a bar and ask for a beer like this and still be considered like, I'm a man who likes beer, as opposed to, you walk into like some of these bars outside of some urban areas and you ask for some craft beer. And they're like, no, fuck off. You get a Budweiser and a shot of Jack Daniels.
Oh yeah, there's definitely demographics in different areas that are like still maintain those dedications to a certain brand of a icy light or a
Right, just like a working man's beer.
Yeah.
But I'm finding that there's more and more like guys who have this very working class identity, like this is who I am. I'm a union guy, or I'm a this guy or that guy. But they're like, okay, but like I'm into these really fucking nice beers.
Yeah.
Where like, my old man's generation, it's like, no, fuck off. We drink Icy Light. We drink Coors Light.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know about what's going on over here, and you shouldn't worry about it either.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a choice to taste or not. Yeah.
No. But I mean, I feel like it's opening up now. Like, I feel like there's people, like craft beers. It's not just for these little posh urban.
No. I think that's definitely, that stigma's gone.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many like flavors out there. I mean,
Well, that's what we were saying earlier too. I mean, it didn't used to be the case where you could go anywhere to get, Dogfish 60 Minute used to be hard to find. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale used to be hard to find. You can go anywhere and get craft beer now.
Yeah. How? So I remember, years ago, whenever I was first introduced to things that weren't Keystone Ice, that things that weren't Keystone Ice, and it was Sierra Nevada. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And real quick, I think we got
a special guest in the building.
He made
it. I'm alive. What up, man?
How you doing?
Last time we saw you, it was in the Get Out. We was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you been?
Good. How are you?
Everything at Brixton good?
Yeah.
Brought that Brixton. What you bring through?
Yeah. So there's we got the Belgium and Hobbs. I don't know. Is he coming back with a glass for you? Or?
Nah, it's cool. We not drinking. I'm not drinking this episode. I got some things that don't allow me to do so, and I'm mad as hell because Brixton came through with the brew, and I feel I should have showed up. You know, it's one of those times where you feel like you should. You ever clock in at work? You like, damn it, I had a perfect excuse not to come to work. So now I got to sit here and watch y'all enjoy brew, man. I'm a little jealous.
And this barley wine we just titled the Marriage Mender.
The Marriage Mender.
It's we decided that this is what you need when the marriage gets rough. You have some of this, all of a sudden you feel great. You rediscover all the reasons you loved each other.
Well, basically, from my understanding of marriage, after you touch down off the plane, off the honeymoon, then things get rough. So you did all that drinking on the honeymoon, and that's when you felt like you was in the honeymoon stage. And then all of a sudden you get sober, start going back to work. Then the marriages work again. Are you married, by the way?
I am not.
All right, keep it that way, man. It ain't no room for you and your brewer lifestyle to be married.
Hopefully that changes.
You'll be. I mean, you're keeping everybody else's marriages going. That's like your responsibility.
I often wonder that. Like, have we mended, ruined marriages? You know, what do we do? How far has this extended out?
I think you do, because this right here, like what we're sitting around talking about, this right here is the marriage counseling for millennia. Like through the millennia, this has been the marriage counselor right here. People have been handling their shit with this, with whatever meads and beers and barley wines.
I don't know. So do you receive any type of negative feedback? Like, yo, I got too fucked up off the beer.
Oh, yeah.
Next thing I know, I woke up in my side chick's bedroom in the morning. Like, you know, dudes be getting too drunk and spending the night at their side chick crib. Like, they be like, oh, I was supposed to have my alarm set and go home.
It'll get you sometimes.
You should make a beer car overslept. That would be dope. Overslept. Like, there's so many situations where you could oversleep, and one of them is at your side chick crib. You just oversleep and you wake up in a room. Then you gotta call your friend, be like, yo, homie, I need you to lie for me. I need you to say we was fixing my car, and I ran over my cell phone. I'm about to break my cell phone right now. So we won't be able to speak.
This is a $500 mistake I'm about to make right here.
Sacrifices we make. Yeah.
Overslept is a great name for a beer.
There we go. See, that's what we do here. I don't know if they told you, but we like to name beers. So if you know what I mean, like if you ever like kind of caught up with something like, yo, I don't know what to call it, just bring it down. We'll taste it, and we'll give a name. We don't charge.
In your mind, what would overslept? What kind of beer? What category would it fall into? Man,
well, first off, I don't know.
It have to be high in alcohol.
I was gonna say like it's gonna be at least a 9. At
dark.
Least, yeah. Dark is good because overslept. Night, dark, yeah.
Nice, yeah. I see where your head's going here.
Yeah, like I don't think the actual. I guess I can't think of the style per se. Like I don't know. It depends on the individual.
But like one of those Russian.
Well, that's how
Imperial.
we do a lot of our beers. We're named after like so people that are artists or actors, fictional, non-fictional people that have inspired us. So those beers will either be named like created around that name, or somebody we meet will create a beer after them.
So how like with the naming process, is there any like ever a debate or anything like, yo, I wanted to be named this, and then your man's wanted to be named
that definitely has happened a couple of times.
So who wins? How do you determine like what the name's gonna be?
It ends up being a common consensus for sure. It's but like, so we'll meet somebody. Oh, we should name a beer after them, or we'll have a beer that we make and we're not sure about a name. We taste the beer and we're like, that's this person.
Okay.
Like, so
lots of namesakes. Like
oh yeah, absolutely. They all have special meanings to us, like friends, family members.
Any pets?
No pets yet.
Man,
good. Man.
No animals.
I'm not
all
a pet
humans.
person, man.
No, I feel like a dog deserves a beer. You know what I mean?
I think a dog deserves to live in the woods and find his own food. That's what I think about dogs, man. You just staying in the crib rent free. You know what I mean? Eating, we got to take you to get shots, take you to the doctor, you got insurance, you ill. Then you're going to die, so like I got to explain to my kids, like, hey, Scruffy, you know, it was his time. Like, I don't want my children's introduction to death to be a pet that they've loved and licked on them and all. That's just me. I'm just not into
It's
pets.
better to start out with like a shitty uncle who they didn't like.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
wasn't super nice. Like, this is what happens.
Alcoholic uncles could go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
We're
yo,
gonna take you to this is your first introduction.
this is what poor life choices do. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lesson in that. When the dog dies, there's no lesson in that. It's just sad.
It's just the harsh reality of
it's
existence.
I don't know if we
dogs
pro
don't get
uncles
beers.
dying on this episode. I don't know what that is. Like, they shouldn't have brought me. That's why I shouldn't have come to work. You know what I mean? Like, I was off it. I had to come in.
You had out.
I had it out. I had it out, man. But I'm so dedicated
why
to
are
this
you here?
podcasting thing that I just come and talk about uncles dying.
Well, we needed some levity, so there it is.
You know how crazy I feel sitting here drinking Gatorade and y'all got all this good brew?
Yeah.
Like, how does it feel being a brewmaster when you go places and you don't like the alcohol selection? I've never asked anyone that. Like, do you feel inclined to improve it? Like, yo, I'm gonna just run to the house or run to my trunk real quick and bring y'all some real brew, or do you just judge people like, look at your shitty ass brew?
No. I usually typically go out as just a regular consumer.
Okay,
Yeah.
See, I always find it difficult. Like when I go to comedy shows, it's now very difficult to just sit and enjoy the show because I'm always in the mindset of, okay, let me see how he structures his set. Let me see, is his vocal projection together? Is he hitting his punches? Is the timing right? It's just funny. Like and with such a social thing with alcohol, and you're being a brewmaster, you control people's nights to a certain extent. Like you get
Absolutely,
you get to affect people's social lives like very, very intimately. Like
Yeah. You can definitely overthink it sometimes. Like I find sometimes you can be either in your head about it, approaching a situation about like what their beers are taste like, what their beer profiles are like, or as opposed to, and then I'm just coming in here as a regular customer. I typically, if I go out, I'm not going to mention that I'm a brewmaster.
Okay.
I'd just rather be observant from afar and just.
You're a humble guy. I respect it. I'm always telling people I'm a comedian. I like to let you know I'm a little bit above you mentally because I do comedy. Like I tell jokes for a living. Like these little knock jokes you doing, that ain't shit.
You sit up front. You sit up front at the shows with a notebook, just looking at them.
Nah, see the thing about comedians, we like to stay in the back. You know what I mean? And look important. That's the thing, because when you're a stand-up comedian, when you're starting out, when you're an amateur, you're not really that important in life. So you got to create scenarios where you're important. So you go to the improv and you stand by the DJ booth and you welcome people in like it's your club, like you work here. You know what I mean? Like that's what you do. I don't know if it's like that with brew. Like I don't know if you sitting there at a bar and you're talking about the actual beers that are on tap. Like, oh yeah, this is a Belgian stout. Nah. That would be crazy. You might be annoying like if you did that. So yeah, hell yeah. Stay not telling people you're a brewmaster, man. Stay with the humility because you'll be turning a lot of people off. Because a lot of people don't know what they're drinking.
No, and some people don't care as long as it tastes good.
Most people don't care.
Yeah,
because up until we started doing this podcast, and even now that I'm doing the podcast, half the time I don't know what the hell I'm drinking.
Right. No, I feel like kind of the idiot who's riding the wave of everybody's like discerning palates and expertise because they've created these amazing beers that I know shit about. I just show up and I'm like, man, I'll just try. What do you like? I'll have one of those. I'll drink. I'll be like, this is fucking incredible. I know nothing about it. I'm like that guy who goes to like the art show and doesn't know what he's looking at and walks out with like a $5 print of something. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, but let me tell you, that guy I get along with. It's the guy at the art show and wants to tell you the history of everything as if he painted it. Fuck you, fam. I'm just trying to look at this picture and put some hot shit in my crib. You know what I mean? Like, why you gotta mess that up for me? Like, if you think about it, the average consumer has no idea what they're consuming, be it food, alcohol, clothing. I don't know where this Levi's jacket was made or what it's made out of. I don't know what the fuck denim is. I think it's cotton. It might not be. I don't know. I just know I like, you know what I'm saying? I like the way it looks right now. I like the way it's cut and it fits, so I'm going to rock that joint. Yeah. I don't want somebody like, imagine you go home to your woman and she start talking to you about who made it and, oh, they got, it's child labor laws that they're doing over there. You like, come on, why you had to burden me with all this information? Like, I just like the jacket. You feel me? Like, I don't know.
In fact, I don't even like this jacket anymore. You can have it back.
Yeah, like I guess you're gonna be the new co-host of the drinking parties because Dave's gonna fire me now since I clearly just went on a rant about don't tell me nothing about what I'm doing. Should have called up, man. So before you became the brewmaster, like what were you drinking? Like what type of beer did you like? And how did it inspire you to get into? I don't know if you all covered this before, but like, how did it?
No, we tapped it. Yeah. No, I had always enjoyed like a lot of the European beers, and I was inquisitive about them, I guess, at an early age. And as soon as I was able to buy beer, I was reaching for those first, and then
you came in top shelf.
Well, no. We all spent our time with 30 racks of Keystone Premium. I will never deny that. I still love that beer.
Beast Ice. That was my go-to. That shit had like the highest alcohol content for the money.
Time out. Did you just say Beast Ice?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, get the fuck out there. Milwaukee's best ice.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, you gotta understand. One thing that you may or may not have noticed is I'm a black guy, and we come in with Budweiser. Like we don't do Milwaukee's best. Like basically, what happens is you grow up, you see an uncle drinking Budweiser or Old English if you're more West Coast. Yeah. And that's what you start off with.
Now it was all about economy. It was like how much alcohol can we get for our money?
Yeah.
Well, Milwaukee's best ice was
young and broke. That's what you do.
Well, Old English is giving you 40 ounces for $2. I don't know if you can beat that.
That's a steal.
That's definitely a steal. Like when you young and you see the Dr. Dre video when they open the fridge and they had all them Old Englishes and they poured Old English on a female at the end of the video. They literally sprayed her like it was alcohol. I was like, oh yeah, this is my first alcohol.
And all I could think of was like you wasted those 40s.
Well, I mean, it's $2 for 40 ounces. Like you can't get Pepsi, 40 ounces of Pepsi for $2.
But I couldn't really good like point. the value of that like having that beer, having access to that beer. I mean, that was like for me, that was like $20. I might have to pay some dude like $10 for a 40 to go and get it. If I couldn't get one of my orders.
Oh, yeah. You talking about, you call them Still Bill. It's the wino that used to hang around either the liquor store or the corner store with beer. And basically, you had to break him off some of what you got, but he would go and get it for you.
Yeah, it was kind of like one for one. So if you got 2 40s, he got 2 40s. There you go. It's it's $10.
And now that I'm an adult, what I realize is you probably didn't have to pay that guy to go in for you, because if I'm a cashier at a liquor store or something like that, and I see this homeless looking dude just randomly who's been standing out front just come in to get beer, and there's some teenagers that happen to be walking by, I know he's buying it for them. Like, come on, man. This dude can't afford this alcohol. Like,
he's coming in every couple hours for like 640s. There's this.
How much alcohol are you drinking, man?
He's like, oh, I'm about a 140 an hour day today.
It's 90 degrees out. He got on a trench coat. Like, what are you doing, fam? So you probably could just go in yourself, save yourself one of the 40s, and just go be like, look, we just serve me out the back. Cut out the middleman, exactly. See, when I come on the show, it just gets far, far less informative and inspiring. It just gets a lot more ignorant. That's what I bring to the show. Like, so I fooled you out at Hollow Oaks. Like, you thought I was respectful. And
I wasn't sure what to expect here. Yeah.
I feel like the next logical progression is, when is Brixton going to start offering 40s? And what's the price point going to be?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, you using terms like price point? He really trying to take my job. So I guess 40 ounces. Yeah. What is the largest? I guess what's the largest quantity you can purchase in I guess a growler or like in a single serve type of beverage, like with craft? Do you get 22s or? We
I
call
think
them
we
deuce
have
deuces.
craft 36 ounces now. Yeah.
You can't. Goddamn.
Wait, so what's
36
how many
ounces of
ounces
craft?
in this right here?
That should be about 36, yeah.
Man, I feel like these are the 40s for rich people. Like poor people walking around with 40s with a screw top cap. You know, this growler is like a 40 for
Yeah, look
for
at
like,
the packaging.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of looks like a High Life 40. You
Well,
know?
rich people. One thing about rich people, they can get inebriated in the most subtle ways, and you wouldn't think that there was craft in there. That looks like you probably were fighting a cold and had some tea. Your woman set you up with some tea, and you just sitting
Brown
at
bagging.
you just sitting, you sitting off getting rocked. The more money you get, the more subtle you get in taking whatever drug or substance you want. Like that's how come rich people do cocaine. It's very quick. It's easily concealed. You don't smell. You know what I mean? They just sniff it real quick. They get a quick buzz, and then they're done with it. You know what I mean?
But I feel like on the inverse of that, you have meth, also easily concealable. Rich people, you don't hear about a lot of rich people doing meth.
Yeah, but it's all over your face, though. If you're using meth, you're a billboard for meth. Like you've just become the spokesperson for methamphetamine. Like
That doesn't take long. No.
Yeah, and then you're talking about 2 hits in.
That's life changing right there.
Yeah,
pretty
like,
quick.
The first day you do meth, you're a character from Breaking Bad.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then no meth dealers. I don't know any meth dealers, but I can't imagine that the actual transaction it looks like it's anything legal.
No. It looks like what it looks like is two people who are addicted to the same substance having a strained conversation.
You're
about
buying
politics.
off of somebody's personal stash. Which I imagine. So in craft beer, like, do you brewmasters? Do you all swap beers like before they hit market? Like, y'all want you to taste this as we think about dropping this. Do you have any of is there relationships like that between different breweries, or are you guys like very competitive and try to conceal releases before they come out?
No, I mean, like we really operate outside of the city, so a lot of our beers are. We sort of actually kind of have a small town thing, so we just pretty much operate outside of Rochester. We serve that community as a local brewery that you can come to, and it's becoming actually a little destination. So
people are coming. Are people coming? What areas do you find them like showing up to?
Well, we get we pull from Pittsburgh now and a couple other areas too. But
so when thinking about or when planning or going into producing or I guess opening up a brewery, that becomes a destination spot. Like what considerations do you take about atmosphere? Like, what type of atmosphere would you like to create? Is it more of a social atmosphere, or do you all try to create an atmosphere where it's like, hey, we come to really taste good beers? You know what I mean? Like, we're invested in beers, or is it like, all right, this is more of a social gathering type of spot?
We really try to make something very organic inside the city of Rochester, the town of Rochester, something very authentic, and offer these artisanal beers that aren't over the top either. But the atmosphere has always been social. It's always been social, and try to get back to humans talking to humans as opposed to, interference with, your TVs or cell phones.
Right.
And it's just like engage in conversation with your friends that are at the bar. Don't.
That's a lost art, man.
It can be like you can really get stuck in your head nowadays. You're always on point, always going, and you have to look at your cell phone anytime you have a break in your day. Like instead of hitting a cigarette, I'm just going to look at my cell phone, and this is going to separate me from whatever I need to do because I'm in an awkward situation. It's just I don't want to stand here like I'm just going to stand here. I'm going to look at my phone real quick
the phone is definitely an escape route.
Yeah.
For awkward situations, but it's also like I wonder what it's like to be a young guy or a young girl who's come up in this technology age where cell phones are so implemented into society, where it's like, all right, you can try to date someone purely online, like you can just meet someone, court them online. have they lost the art of like, yo, I see a chick at the bar, I'm trying to go holler at her. I want to slide up on this. Like, I remember being young and like you had to slide up on women at the bus stop sometimes. Like if you wasn't driving yet and you was with your homies,
leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, like she at the bus stop, and that's an awkward conversation to start. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a car, you don't have a car. I don't know what side of town you live on, like, so you might be disqualified from us even dating because you talking about 2 buses. I got to use a transfer to see you? Nah, that ain't gonna work. But you got to figure out how to get that conversation started.
That's what
now I guess you just find them online and tweet them.
yeah, and you have immediate access to them, right? So how many times, whenever we were 14, 15, you thought of some stupid thing to say to some girl? But you had to wait till you got home so that you could call her, or you got to a payphone so you could like send her one of those pager texts. And once you got there, you were like, actually, that's a terrible idea. Now, bad idea, bad decision, make it immediately. Make her aware of how much of a fucking idiot you are
and it's
right
out
now.
in the world for everyone. And she could, and if you send it to her direct, she could screenshot it. So she could keep it forever. Oh, that sucks, man. I remember, when I was growing up, you didn't even have to have words to get a woman's attention. Dudes used to walk down the street and go, yo, and that's just to get the attention of a woman walking across the street. And like somehow the woman always knew exactly which one you were talking to. It could be a group, but if you went, yo, like I guess whatever sound you made, it was like dolphin speak. You know what I mean? Like
it resonated mostly in her eardrums.
Yeah, she got it, and then you guys would meet either on her side or you run across. You try to be smooth, but now I guess you just tweet them or you like them, like you like them on Instagram. Like it's crazy, man. Do people sit at your brewery and just be on Tinder?
I don't know if we have any Tinder clients.
All right, you should make it a no Tinder environment because I don't think it's fair that we all sit at a bar and you just sit at the bar on Tinder. So you're essentially like you out here courting women and you doing it the easy way, dog. I'm waiting for somebody to catch my eye to come in and you just like, oh, I like her. Swipe right. I don't like you. Swipe left.
Just set there should be like a proximity setting or something. Is there a proximity setting on there where you could do it like within, like less than an eighth of a mile from you? So you're just like swiping right all the time, hoping they walk into the bar.
I'm not on Tinder, but I think there is something with radius or something like that, like proximity. Yeah. I think that's how they produce whoever shows up on your Tinder. Like,
you get a notification that
I don't know. That's what I don't know. Like, how do you get to like what is Tinder? Somebody write the podcast and explain Tinder to Dave Bracey or myself. Like when you log in,
he might have an account.
They might have it. Dave looks like a Tinderer. He's at least tried it. Like, they be on the internet too much to not at least. He might have it. I don't know what his name is on Tinder. It ain't Dave Bracey, but it's something else. But he's got a Tinder account. But I just don't get it. Like, if you log in, what comes up? Just all of a sudden, I just start getting just a bunch of women's pictures. Like, that's what happens, or what happens? I don't understand.
I mean, I know that's what happens. Like, whatever you decide, if you want to see dudes or women, or I don't know if they have like transgender Tinder. There's like Grindr for gay dudes. I don't know if it's for gay women, but like whatever you decide you want to see, they start populating.
It's a gay name though, Grindr. Like,
dude, that's where.
How come they get to say stuff stereotypical, but we don't?
No, that's where Tinder came after Grindr, because I remember. Like one of my best friends, he was like, he had just come out of the closet, and he's like, yo, I'm on this Grindr thing, and I was like, what the fuck is Grindr? He's like, yo, you just go on there, and then like you find people who you want to get down with, and they hit you up, and I'm like, oh, that's convenient. He's like, and by the way, I gotta go. Because he just like got hit up on Grindr, and then Tinder came out. It was like a few years after that.
Oh wow. Yeah. That Grindr that name.
Yeah,
just,
it sounds.
They gotta come up with a little.
Pretty
more,
straight to the point.
Yeah, they gotta come up with a more subtle name, man. Like I couldn't imagine leaving my phone out and having the little Grindr icon. What is the icon for Grindr on your iPhone? Like,
I don't know. Just like a chiseled dude's face with like a 5 o'clock shadow looking rough as fuck. Like Grindr. That's off-putting. Somebody said I'm gonna grind you. I'm like, ugh. I don't know even if I'm very attracted to you.
Pretty Ricky, they did grind on me. They were fairly popular.
Yeah, but
I don't think they knew about the Grindr app.
No, that was pre-Grindr app for sure.
Okay, yeah. See, as you can see, we don't talk just about beer. We talk about anything. Talk about anything, because that's what I really enjoy about this podcast, man. Just sitting and cooling it with people that I think are really cool, who are doing like amazing things. Like, just, I mean, how cool is it? And I always ask this to brewers, like, how cool is it to know that you produce really good stuff and people enjoy it? And honestly, people do it at their most enjoyable. Like, they go to your establishment to enjoy what you produce, not just the atmosphere that you create, but the actual product you produce. Like,
that's the greatest joy that I can possibly get out of beer. It's that right there. Being like knowing that I turned grain into something that people really enjoy and actually will get in their car and say, let's go to Brixton Brewing today. Let's go to Hollywood Gardens today to try a sandwich and a Matthew. It is one of the coolest things to actually consciously think about and step outside of yourself and think like, wow, there's multiple people every day willing to make that decision. Like, that's what I was saying too earlier. You know, you have multiple people, like every day you deal with somebody. They're making their own decisions and their decisions are affecting other people's decisions. And it's cool. Yeah. That's the greatest joy to know that people got, you know, you can give somebody a smile.
And your product is affecting those decisions. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
there's mender or bender.
You can mend and bend. Listen, it's give and take. It's both ends, man. It's
always bend, never break. Yeah.
Exactly. See, that's a salesman right there.
That's Bruce Lee right there.
That is
Bruce Lee, but he's Bruce Lee. You know what I mean?
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, exactly. See, we get a little cordy too on this.
He comes out in his gaiters. He's like, "I'm Bruce Lee."
Don't slide up to no woman at your brewery and say that you're Bruce Lee. Like, I guarantee she's not gonna swipe right or whatever they do in person now.
No, remember in person, it was just that humiliating look and walk away. That was the swipe. I think left. Right?
I'm gonna guarantee that Bruce Lee is gonna be one of Dave's Twitter names. You know, he changes his Twitter name on top, not his @ handle, but his actual name. He changes all the time. He's gonna change it to Bruce Lee. Once because he outside, he's gonna hear this and he'll be like, "Oh, that's a good one, Bruce Lee." But I got a copy.
There's several Instagram accounts already created now, or going to be created after this airs.
Yeah,
Bruce Lee. There's gonna be like a hophead hunter.
Well, that's the new. I mean, it's funny because even so, for you guys, do you find social media to be a part of your business plan? Like, do you feel like you have to take advantage of social media, and how so? If you try with brewing, like, how do you implement social media? Because so many people are like on their phones all of the time.
Yeah. Well, our brewery and brew pub started out before a lot of this sort of social media came about, like the Instagram, the Twitter, and so we've always operated in a very small environment with a very small brewing system and contained in the area. So there was never really much of a need for a lot of the social media. But in today's time, you absolutely have to. I mean, it's without question. You just have to use it. Yeah. So yeah, we extend on it. We have an Instagram account, Brixton Brewing. We have Facebook, Hollywood Gardens, Brixton Brewing. We have a website, brixtonbrewing.com.
And spell Brixton.
Brixton.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the town, the Guns of Brixton.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, because that's how I was thinking it was spelled, but I'm a dumb shit, so I think things.
Well, he's been drinking a lot of Brixton today, so you're not gonna. We don't know if he's bending, not breaking over there.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to interrupt your question.
I didn't
want to interrupt your question. I'm like, man, you thought it was like bricks, like he's selling bricks? Nah, man.
Yeah,
like, just he's selling bricks.
It's Bricks Town.
We didn't want to put that on him. Like, we didn't want to put the hustle label on him. Not in the illegal sense.
No, I don't know that hustling can be wrong unless it's meth. Well, I guess there's a few other things. But,
Well, I watched Breaking Bad. I was a huge Breaking Bad fan. And
Me too.
It almost made me want to sell meth.
I know. It made me want to get an RV. I was really rooting for him. I wanted him to fucking.
I wanted to get a pest or whatever he was doing when he was cooking in the house. I wanted to get one of those businesses and then start selling meth. But I
tent the house. Yeah.
I don't know what the meth transaction is like, so I'm cool. I'm gonna start brewing. That's
Margins.
What
Yeah. Yes.
I gotta come up with my brewery.
I think narcotics have big margins. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So does beer have those same margins? So like if somebody's charging me, if I go to the Sharp Edge and pay this $100 for a beer, you as a brewmaster, could you justify that expenditure? Could you be like, that is a $100 beer?
No.
Fuck you guys. Glad I never bought that. I was never.
I don't think anybody gets in the brewing to make money. It's like, I don't think you get into being a comedian to make money. I mean,
Right.
eventually it might come, but you still do it for the love of it. I mean, it's
Right.
why else would we be doing this? I mean, you have to change your attitude to love it. I mean, with anything,
Right.
if you're doing it for money alone, you reap what you sow. That never really turns out too well.
Right.
You have to have the passion. I mean, you can say, yeah, we live in a commercial economy, but you have to pursue things with love.
And I think that comes through. I mean, these are the first 2 beers from Brixton I've had. I look forward to having a lot more. And that passion, that love definitely comes through. And whenever I was saying, I could feel the gratitude and the love coursing through my veins with that barley wine. I wasn't just being fucking silly. Like, honestly, like I drank it and I was like, fuck, man, this is like something that's really special. Like I'm drinking something that I can taste how special it is.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're in an industry where you create a product that is consumed by others, be it a physical product or, us with our more intellectual, mental, as far as comedy is concerned, people can really feel the authenticity. Like, if your beer is like a mass produced, like, here, we're doing this for money, like it's one of the big companies, you taste like, okay, this is just a beverage that's supposed to taste or feel like beer. It's not necessarily supposed to be a good beer. It's just a beer that they would call it a cookout beer. It's just a beer that you could take to a cookout. You could take a case of Millers to a cookout. You know what I mean? Right. They're affordable. They are beer. You know what I mean? Like people taste them, like, okay, this is beer. This is alcohol. But like when you taste these local breweries and like when they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into it, like the individuals that you meet who are, directly invested into the company, or you go to the brewery and the guy serving you your brews, he's also, has a part in the brewing process. Like you get more information, you get a better experience, and you get a better beer, better taste. Yeah. You go away feeling better. Like if you go to a comedy show and somebody's like, quote unquote, selling out and they're just doing shit just to be funny, like you'd be like, all right, I get it. But if you get somebody up there pouring their heart out and talking about their experience, you appreciate that show more. And that's what I've really enjoyed about meeting the brewers, is like the product that we consume, that we're like taking a piece of their heart every time. You know what I mean? Like it's like, yo, you really dumped something into this. You really put something into this, not just into the business plan, but actually the product. You know what I mean? Like you gotta appreciate when you get to consume a product that somebody's really like invested in.
There was a person behind that.
There's a person behind it. Like that's what I hate about college, man. Like you go, you spend all this money to go to college, and half of your professors are just there for a check.
Yeah.
Half of them are just there for a check. Like I'm sitting in a classroom with 400 people. He don't give a fuck about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't care about me. Like, you sitting in an anthropology class, but you're a business major. Like, he don't give a damn about what you learning about anthropology. Like,
but let's go back to what you were talking about with the, people maintaining to icy light. It's just it's just, you're not tasting. It's just that's
right. It's more wrapped up in this idea, this like the Matrix beers, like Ed was saying, they're like Matrix beers. It's like, this is what beer should taste like. This is the beer. I'll have this beer. Yeah. Beer is also the drink of relaxation. This is also the beer of my working class background, and there's so much fucking wrapped up into it. But what you're getting is a shitty product.
You're just getting a beverage.
Yeah.
You're just consuming it. It's just like, it's just...
But what you're consuming is more than just this subpar beer. you're consuming all of the meaning in it.
With
You don't have to call out any particular company if you don't want.
Yeah. No, the college professor company.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just giving. It's
Right.
and you know, there's no authenticity to it. It's there's no thought in it. It's just the one common goal of
Yeah, it's like, here, you guys have to cover this. This is what you cover. Boom. You took this class.
Yeah.
You now get credit for taking
now you have
this
a piece
class.
of paper that has a couple words on it.
Well, hell, I mean, with the prereqs, it's just a money grab.
Yeah.
Why do I need to take a natural science if I'm a businessman? Why do I need to take 2 of those? Yeah, I mean, like if I'm gonna try to go to certain industries, maybe I should try to take one or 2 of those, you know, and add that to, yo, this was the coursework that I completed, this, that, and third. But that should be my choice. Like, you're forcing me. Like, I took astrology, fam. It's not. You don't even see the stars in Pittsburgh. Like it's a cloudy city. You don't see these stars.
Yeah.
I'm learning about these planets that I'm never going to go to. Do I give a damn if Pluto's considered a planet? No, I don't. I really don't. I was just reading something. They were talking about an asteroid was about to miss the Earth by like 4 million miles or some crazy number. And they were studying that, and it was like something, it was a big deal. And I'm like, that shit is super far away. Like, I can't even see that. I don't give a fuck. Ain't no telling what's going on beyond where I see airplanes. Like, I don't know. Like, the first time I got on the plane and I looked down on clouds, I thought I was in heaven. I was like, what the hell? You look down on clouds?
Right?
But that's as far as I need to go. I've never used anything astrological, I don't know if that's a word, in my life.
No. I mean, I look up in the sky, I see, oh, there's Big Dipper. Cool. There's my astrology class. Like,
You can't even see the
That's pretty
whole
good one to
spoon
pick
in
out.
this
Yeah,
city.
that's we all yeah. Oh, that's big.
You can't even see the whole spoon in this city.
no, you're right. You're right.
And like, you don't even realize it until you go on vacation to like an island or something and they have actual clear skies and it's peppered with stars. You're like, oh shit.
Man, it's crazy. I was one time in my life, I was in Wyoming for work, and I remember looking up, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? What the fuck is happening up there? What the fuck is going on up there? This doesn't make any sense. This is slightly unnerving. I'm having a difficult time taking all this in. This is what's up there all the time. Like,
Yeah, all the time, except for we're in a city where you never see it. I saw a shooting star once, and I was in Mexico, and we saw a shooting star. I didn't know that was real. I thought it was just made up. I thought it was like just a Rolls Royce song. I'm wishing on a star. Like, I didn't know they were actual shooting stars. I was high when it happened too.
Oh, that's great.
So-
You see a shooting star, you're on a couple grams of mushrooms. Fuck, man.
I
Like,
wasn't
you're-
on mushrooms. I wasn't on shrooms. It was a plant, but it was,
Somebody didn't come through.
yeah, like we didn't have the shrooms, but it was crazy because the way I reacted, I knew I had overreacted because like the people who were from different cities who could see stars and stuff like that. It wasn't a big deal to them, but I'm from Cleveland. I've been living in Pittsburgh. It's very cloudy, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
situation. So I saw it. I was freaking. I was like, yo, this is crazy. The star was moving. It was like Mickey Mouse and Fantasia, whatever the fuck that movie is when he's got the broom sweeping and all that.
Later on in the room, somebody's like, honey, did you see that 30-year-old man talking about that shooting star? Do you really think it's the first time he saw one?
Yeah, it was definitely the first time, and I definitely thought about that Mickey Mouse movie.
Yeah, Fantasia's all right, though.
Yeah, well, it
Refer
definitely
back to 2 grams of
definitely high.
mushrooms.
Yeah, he was definitely high when he,
Yeah, oh,
when
high
he
as
created
fuck,
that.
dude.
High as hell.
Yeah.
Or on some Brixton.
Or on some Brixton.
It's like you could definitely spark with the potency of this alcohol because we had it out in at Hollow Oaks, so I haven't had to drink it today, but I do remember having it out at Hollow Oaks, and it's very good. And you get into that, you could down a few of those. Next thing you know, you creating the next, Fantasia.
yeah. But it would have a lot more love in it, I feel like. Because this
It would
fucking
come,
barley wine.
because that dude, whatever he was taking, that was just a dealer.
Man, yeah,
dealer
he,
just
he
sold
was
him that.
hustling. He was hustling. He was like, all right, well, I guess I'll smoke this. What's all this shit on top of it? I don't know. That's all I have.
Yeah,
Smoke it. Yep, he did. It was crystal. He just wanted a clean house. He's like, man, I want a house so clean right now. I wonder if I could use magic.
I wish I could just make my kids just clean it without using their hands. You gotta appreciate the fact that you create is something. What you create is tangible and feasible. Like people who create cartoons and stuff, a lot of it is fantasy, fanatical, and that's cool. I don't know if I could create like just a fantasy for somebody. Like just, you know what I mean? Like you create a beer, like that's tangible. Like, yo, I drink this beer, I can feel a certain way. And you can almost like when creating the beer, you like, yo, I want people to feel this way when I create the beer. And then it's a tangible thing.
Yeah.
Whereas when someone creates like a cartoon, it's like, I want you to have this takeaway from this, but everything that's happening is ridiculous.
How do you feel about when you create your comedy though? I mean,
my comedy personally comes from a real place. All of my jokes come from my actual life.
well, I mean, when you're creating something, you're still creating a situation. I mean,
yeah, I mean, that's why I said I couldn't necessarily do fantasy because my comedy again comes from personal experience.
rational,
Like there are comedians who create these ridiculous scenarios and make jokes, and I just can't think in that manner. Like I think my life is ridiculous enough. Like I'm just living.
Man, I think everybody's life is ridiculous enough. I
Everybody.
think everybody's life. Like if your life isn't ridiculous. No, your life is absolutely ridiculous. I don't give a fuck who you are. All of your lives are ridiculous.
Totally.
No matter what social class or you're in, it's ridiculous. Even if
you think you got the shit covered, you don't.
You don't. And even if you're just super filthy rich, your life is
Nope.
the ridiculousness
Nope.
of the
Nope.
lavishness of your life. That's what's ridiculous. Like,
No
come
Biggie
on,
Small
man.
said.
Yeah. Like they make cars now that are basically living rooms. Like why do you got to be riding in the back of a living room? Like you should be thinking about safety. You're thinking about how plush the seats are.
I always find that odd, like when they talk about how silent the cabin is. Like, so you can't hear somebody like, stop, you're gonna hit me.
Nah, you
Nah,
can't.
nah, I'm just gonna keep going.
Nah, because you just want to be in your own world. You want to be above society. Like, why you got curtains in your car? What do you need curtains for? Tint your windows. You got curtains for, man. You gotta sit in the back and draw your curtains. Like, what kind of shit is that? But and again, if I get enough money to get me a Rolls Royce or Maybach, I'll get some curtains.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely closing the curtains in the back.
Definitely gonna have the curtains.
Yeah.
But you do realize by closing the curtains to your car, you make people want to look at your car more.
Yeah.
Like, hey, people really want to look at your shit now. Like,
I don't even buy new curtains for my house at this point. Yeah.
so look, we've had a lot of fun. Just let people know where they can find Brixton. Let them know where they can find you online and actually your physical location.
Yeah, we are at brixtonbrewing.com. You can find us in Rochester, PA, at 169 Penny Street, Rochester, PA. And we have a Facebook account, Brixton Brewing, Hollywood Gardens. Instagram account, Brixton Brewing. Great place. It's a very social atmosphere. There's no TVs, great music, great food, always artisanal beer from around the country. It's a great place.
Yeah, man. Like it's great place, great product. You got the 2 P's covered: place and product.
Yeah.
Product placement.
Yeah.
See, I had to do my
too.
own.
Good people.
Okay, 3 P's. Boom. Product placement and people. See, I had to kind of overshadow his price point. You know what I mean? So you had 2 P's, I had 3 P's.
Yeah, throw business out the window.
Yeah,
it's a great place and it's enjoyable and it's authentic.
And so if people were trying to break out of Pittsburgh for an afternoon, come
Oh,
and see
absolutely.
you, how
Yeah.
how long does it take for them to get to the Brixton Brewing Hollywood?
Well, if you want to take 65, the preferable, 65, it's about 35 minutes on 35, 40 minutes on 65. And
Okay.
the usual 60, if you take, 60 or 376 as we call it now, it's about, half hour.
Any
37
distributors within city limits that they can stop by to grab a few?
No, we are in draft in-house only. So that's
Okay.
that's sort of what we actually try to maintain. And so once we can able to offer other bars, like other draft beer, we get them out when we can, and it actually ends up being a great experience. We'll drop it off at one of the bars in the city. And
you were saying Allegheny Wine Mixers.
Yeah, Allegheny Wine Mixers had us before. Piper's Pub has had us before.
The Catalina Wine Mixer.
Catalina. Yeah, that actually, I think it is part of their name. I'm not sure. Like, there's a description on when you go to their website that says like how it's. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So this is I didn't even know this is our first destination beer. Like that's dope. Like it's actually it's a physical structure. You go there, you go into this. You have to make a day out of it. Make a day out of it. Go out there, man. Take 65. Support Brixton because I'm telling you, it's good beer and it's a good atmosphere. Like you got the people, you got the knowledgeable staff, you got the people who come in, you got the good brew. There's nothing more that you can ask for.
Yeah.
The only thing we can ask is, Dan, what's going on with Grown Up Human Comic People?
Grown Up Human Comic People, we're still on the grind, still doing it every release and every week. On the horizon, we don't have any exciting, interesting events coming up. We have been working with Rick Seaback on his Rick Starter campaign.
I saw that.
Yeah, man.
So gotta get in with Pittsburgh royalty, man.
Yeah, man. He's
pretty Ricky.
He's put us on. So. But that's about it. You can find us at Grown Up Humans or grownuphumancomicpeople.com. So it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming through. It's good to have good friends who could come through for you when you're in a bad spot. So, and for you to come through and jump on the cast, you know. It was good, man. We got to have quality. You don't want to just have anybody just jump in and be a guest host. So we appreciate that. I was going to have Day come do his rundown, but before we do his rundown, I do have to let you all know, May 17th, Pittsburgh Improv, Ed Bailey still standing. It's my comedy show. I'm headlining. I got my boy T-Robe hosting, Samantha Bentley, and Terry Jones featuring. And again, I'll be closing it out, headlining. It's a celebration of life, man. I just want everybody to come out. All the listeners of the podcast, all of my supporters, anyone who's followed my journey back from the horrific accident, come out, man. We just gonna have a good time. We got a stacked lineup. It's gonna, you know what I mean? It's gonna be crazy. So Ed Bailey still standing. It's cool that I got to name it.
Yeah, I like that. Still standing.
Yeah, well, you know, I still do it a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't get to do it as often, but we still do it. I gotta fight. Hey, Dave, you want to come here and do your rundown, man? Cause hold on, I'm gonna try to do it. What's good with you people? We are the drinking party. What's good with you people? We are the drinking parties. You can find us on. Wait, what is it?
IG,
Stitcher, and Libsyn at Partners Pod. But it's no. Hold on. How do we do this? Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
Twitter, Facebook. It is another one. Oh, no. It's IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Partners Pod. It's iTunes, Stitcher, and Libsyn at Drinking Partners.
Okay.
As always, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. Fuck Day, because he ain't think I could do it, and I did it. And we out of here, yo.
That was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, thanks a lot. This barley wine is fucking incredible. Yo, man, it's so good to see you.